Okay, so today's going to be primarily about lateral movement with some rotation. So most of it will be sideline. We're going to warm up first, sitting tall. If you feel you're not comfortable sitting tall, for instance, if you feel that you're slouching, so you need to be able to sit tall through the crown of your head, as if you're sitting up against a wall, which isn't that natural for a lot of people. So a yoga block like this can help. So if you're sitting that underneath your tailbone, means that you'll sit a little bit taller. So your shoulders are back and you're sitting a little bit taller like so. So sit comfortably with or without a block, with your legs crossed, or if it's not comfortable for your knees, you can sit with your feet in front of you, again with or without the yoga block. So sitting tall with your shoulders back, your hands are going to be out to the sides. And just gently stretch over to the side. You're going to keep your arm in line with your ear and try looking up at the ceiling, not looking down to the floor so you're not rounding your spine. Each time try and go a little bit further. So again, that stretch, you're lifting your ribs up from your hips. You're keeping your sit bones level on the floor. So you're not swaying your whole body, you're not tipping completely over like so. You're keeping your sit bones level. So stretch goes from fingertips through, all the way down the side of your body. Big stretch over. Stretch, and then just hold the stretch, reaching up and over, looking up to the ceiling. Really lengthen out through your ribs, down the side of your body. And then to the centre, the other side, reaching up and over, big stretch. And then back to the centre. Now bring one hand behind you, and with the hand onto the knee, looking over your shoulder, again still sitting tall. Imagine a broomstick following down from the top of your head all the way down through your spine to your tailbones. You're sitting tall. To the centre of the other side. Looking around behind you. Keep your shoulders down, away from the ears, no hunching shoulders. And round again. Then come down onto your side. So you're going to line yourself up with the edge of your mat. So you've got a nice even piece of mat in front of you. And your arm underneath you. If you're not comfortable there, you can pop the block underneath your head or a fold up towel underneath your head, and then your top hand in front of you. So nice alignment, so your chin is off your chest, you're not looking down to your body, or looking straight ahead of you. Your hands supporting in front, but keep the hips and shoulders stacked up to the ceiling, so imagine you've got a wall behind you. Keep your feet and knees together, just gently lift your feet off the floor, and down. So scooping through your core, helping stabilise your spine, lifting the legs up. So options here is lifting your head and your ribs as well. And down. Try not to push the hand into the floor too much. Try and use your core to lift and not pushing downwards with that top hand. To make it a little bit hard, less balance. So with the hand onto your thigh, and then your hand will just gently slide towards the side of the knee and lower down again. Lifting up. Lowering down, lifting up and down. Tissue in my side pocket, I don't really need that. Lifting up and lower down. Lifting up and lower down. Lift it up and just hold it there. And down again. Now just lift the top leg, keep the lower leg to the floor, so just slide the hand to the knee, lowering down. Just gently opening up through your hips. Just feel that hinging on the hip. Still stabilising through your core. Hips and shoulders staying stacked up to the ceiling. If you feel yourself wobbling too much, you can pop your hand in front of you. Lifting up and down. Lifting up and down. Lifting up and down. Just one more. And down. And now bend the lower leg slightly so you can help stabilise the hips. Hand in front of you, but again keeping the shoulders back. And then over the toe pointed, swing the leg forward. And then flex the foot and squeeze back. Point the toe, swing forward. Flex and squeeze back. Point forward. Flex and back. Forward. Squeezing back. Forward. And squeeze back. Forward and squeeze back. Put the emphasis through the glute as you bring the leg back. So not arching the back, but using the glute to bring the leg back just slightly behind the hips. Forward, squeezing back. Really feel like you're pushing against some resistance as you squeeze back, helping to engage the glute. Forward, one more, and coming back, and bring the leg down to the floor. With both feet together again, your knees are slightly in front, your feet are going to be in line with your hips. And you're going to open up with the top knee, so hinging on the hip without tipping the hips back. Lower down again. Open and squeeze. Lower down. Open and squeeze. And down. So you're like opening a door, hinging on the hip and the foot. And lower down. Open, squeeze. And down. Open and squeeze. And down. So one more. And then bring the knees in front of you, so your shins are going to be parallel to the floor. And the hips are going to stay stable, but the feet aren't going to stay together. And then just start opening up like a book and down. Again, resisting the temptation to rotate. And down. Open, squeeze. And down. Open, squeeze. And down. Squeeze. And down. Just one more. And down. Keep the top leg where it is, just slide the lower leg out. So just get a little bit of a stretch there through the glute. Just feel that tension just ease away. Keep that top leg where it is. Your knee and your ankle are pretty much in line with the edge of your mat. The lower leg straight and the foot flex. Lift the lower leg off the floor and down. So be squeezing through your inner thigh. Feel the connection to your pelvic floor as you squeeze and lift. Lower down, squeeze and lift. Lower down, squeeze and lift. And down, squeeze, lift. And down, lift. And down, lift. And down. And just one more. And lower down. And then just roll yourself over onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. Just gently loosen off through your lower back. You're massaging your tailbone into the floor. And then bring your feet down again. Roll yourself onto the other side. I'm going to turn myself the other way so you're seeing my back. So again, arm underneath you with a little pillow if you need to, with the top hand in front, with both feet together, a nice straight line from your ear through to your shoulder, to your hip, your knee and your ankle. And lift both legs off the floor and down. So you're shortening your waist as you lift and lower down, lifting up and down, lift and down. So again, options as before, lifting your head and your ribs if you feel you can. So light with those hands. I'm not really pushing the hand into the floor. I'm just really light. The emphasis through the core and not my shoulder. Lifting up and down. Hand can be on your thigh if you feel you can, if you don't need the balance. And down, scoop and lift. And lower, lift. And lower, lift. Lower, just do one more. And down, and now just lift the top leg, slide the hand to the knee, lowering down again, lifting up and lowering down, keeping those shoulders stacked up to the ceiling, so you're not leaning forward, and the same with the hips, so lifting up and down, lifting up, down, lift and down. Just one more. And down. Let's bring the top hand back in front of you, but still keeping the shoulders back. Bend the lower leg slightly, help stabilise your hips with the toe pointed. Swing the leg forward, flex the foot and squeeze back through the glute. Lengthening through your calf as you push your heel away from you and putting your toe in towards your knee. Squeeze through the glutes. You really feel you've got some resistance you're pushing against. As you come back, activating the glutes. The leg's going to come slightly back from the hips, but without arching the back. So it's the glute bringing the leg back, so it's just nicely opening up through the front of your hip as the leg comes back, but not by taking your spine out of neutral. Swing forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Last one, forward and back. And then with both feet together, bend your knees, your feet are lined up with your hips. And then open up with the knees, squeeze through the hip. And down. Make sure the shoulders aren't rolling forward, you don't want to be rolling forward like so. Just keep those shoulders and hips stacked up. Open with the knee, hinge on the hip, and down. So there's a small move as you open up the hip. And down. Put the emphasis through the glute. Core still strong to help stabilise your hips and shoulders. You can do this against a wall if it's easier, and then you know with your tipping the hips back, you've got a guideline behind you or against the side of the sofa or something. And down. One more. Feel it starting to burn a little bit. And then bring your feet in front. So your knees are in line with your hips and your shins are parallel or in line with the edge of your mat. And then we're going to lift the top leg up and down. Opening up and down. Opening up and down. So it's hinging open like a door. And down. And opening up. You feel a little bit of a burn there through the glutes. If it's painful, then stop. So don't work through pain. And down. Just one more. And down. Keep the top knee bent, straighten the top leg out. Let's give that glute a little stretch. Feel that burn disappear. And keep the lower leg straight. Keep the top knee where it is. With the foot flex, you're going to lift the lower leg off the floor, squeezing through inner thigh, and lower down, lifting up, and down. Again, feel the leg feeling heavy, as if you're working against some resistance as you lift the leg. So really activating through your inner thigh, connecting the pelvic floor, and scooping through your core, lifting up, squeeze, and down. Squeeze, down, lift, squeeze, and down. So a couple more, and down, and one more, and lower down. And then roll yourself over onto your back. And hug both knees into your chest again, lifting your tailbone off the floor, rocking your knees back and forth. And then bring both feet to the floor, bring the knees out wide, feet are staying together, so you're opening through your hips, and then stretch your arms all the way up, lengthening through your shoulders, so the knees relax wide. And then bring the knees back together, lengthen out your left leg. With your left hand, bring the right knee over to the side. So give the glute a little stretch and look away from the knee. If you're diagonal stretching your knee through to your hip to the opposite shoulder. Put some pressure on the knee to add to the stretch. As you breathe out, feel the knee sinking further towards the floor. And release, change to the other side. Bring the knee across the body. Again, look away from the knee. Just add tension into the knee slightly to really lengthen out all the way through your body. The emphasis through the glute as you stretch. And come back to the centre and hug both knees into your chest again, lifting your tailbone off the floor as you rock the knees.